The future is always already here, but it will never be evenly distributed among the population. So the key to staying ahead is to be well informed and connected. Hey everyone, my name is Jay. Friends call me Jay, clients call me JI, and I'm an AI consultant, well, creative AI consultant specifically.
Hey, my name is Marek Mars, Onemarsmedia Limited. I'm creative video production director, helping brands elevate their story visually. So tell me about your day. Yesterday you told me, I saw you have like a lot of meetings. Do you have like 4 or 5 meetings? What was it all about?
Yeah, so yesterday was a really interesting one. The first meeting was a meeting about AI-powered blockchain called ICP. I recently became a member of their London hub team, the head of their content and AI. So yeah, that was really exciting. Just had a good meeting with the team. We just recently kicked off this project, so things are just being put together. But yeah, it was really exciting. And then I went to an event in central London that was being run by Wolfram Alpha. They're a really cool, like sort of math and tech-based company that provide like business solutions as well. It all sounds very techy, but I promise you it's actually very creative because obviously, you know, anyone who's known me for a number of years knows my background's in music and stuff like that. And then I had a one-on-one with a new client that I've just that's just come on board for one of my services. So yeah, that was really cool. Just teaching them about AI and AI agents and how to use it creatively, because for me, it's very much a creative endeavor. But yeah, what about yourself? How's your day?
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, pretty much the whole week has been pretty crazy. I'm working with distributors to create a social media presence for them. So I'm one of the production team working on the content for them. And other than that, I'm just working on several projects right now. I'm working with one of the agencies, Fly Accumulations. We're creating a video ad for them for social media. I need to show you that this graphic animation is absolutely sick.
Nice.
You know, when I told you about Matt, you joined his workshops.
Oh yeah,
animations. I asked him to help me out with this project because I don't have such a skill as him, and he done amazing work with graphic animation.
Yeah, he's such a good.
Yeah, client was so happy. It was just minimal changes with the graphic animations, and graphic animations just mixed up with the video. And that was actually first time I take the client and I work with video editor and graphic animator, and I was just directing the project. I haven't done anything with, I didn't get zero involvement with actual production other than directing and producing the content for a client. Nice. So that was pretty new, cool experience. And also Matt was working with me first time with my clients, because usually when I'm working with video production doesn't require doing any animations at the moment for so far with the clients I have been working. So yeah, Matt joining me and showing his skills, I think is gonna put us in different direction with actual video production, and maybe getting new clients on board who actually interested to showing this, you know, showing the business different way other than just visual stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Honestly, he's next level with the motion graphics and then the animations. Like, I've already learned so much from his workshops, and I sort of already know, you know, the basic premise of it in terms of like moving things along keyframes, how to make it seem as if things are moving when really they're just sort of changing state over time, but how to do that in a way where it's not completely arduous and you don't feel like, yeah, this is such a tedious, you know, endeavor. But yeah, no, he's definitely a great person to learn from, and it's great that you actually managed to get that project done without you doing any of the legwork. I think delegation is one of the most important high-level skills as a creative, you know, as someone who runs businesses, you know, like we both do. It's, yeah, really important to know what to do and what to delegate. You know, I mean, there's a great concept of the Eisenhower matrix, you know, which is things that don't have to be done by you necessarily, but are still important, are the things that can be delegated, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was listening to Alex Harmozy on the way here in the cab, and it was one of the podcasts. I usually not focusing what I want to listen from him, because pretty much all his content is value. So I just choose the random one, and he was talking about idea and how to structure your business so business operates without you.
Yeah.
So this is probably something I am struggle with at the moment, just to get the right people on board, so I can probably like disappear even for a week, and business will still make money. So at the moment I'm at the stage with my business require my presence to to move on, to carry on and take onboarding the clients and producing the content, all the stuff. So yeah, it's just I know what you mean by saying this, and I think this is a goal when you're growing your own business. You're not selling your time. You need to like leverage your time and onboard people, train people, and I think that this is the way. This is the destination where I'm going right now.
Yep, absolutely. I think time, money, and your network are the three things you can leverage to get more money, more time, and a wider network. So it's just about knowing how to use those three things strategically to maximize, your allocation of those resources at every stage in life. And there's a popular saying that you never want to be a slave to your business. You know what I mean? If you still need to be there, if there aren't systems in place yet, then yeah, it's always important for those systems to get organized and then for them to scale, because it's going to be impossible to scale if you always need to be there.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to ask you, I want to change the topic a bit, because you've been showing me, last time when I see you, you show me the way, you didn't show me exactly the way how you produce it, but you mentioned about your YouTube channel.
Yes.
And you're producing some content in YouTube channel, and you're using AI to generate the content.
Yes.
You also mentioned using HeyGen?
Yes, I'm using HeyGen, and it's interesting you say that. I had a coaching call, a 1-hour coaching call this morning, teaching one of my clients exactly how they can do that for their personal brand. It's like booming at the moment. But yeah, no, I think it just makes a lot of sense. So whenever someone talks to me about AI, or they say, what is AI? Like, my Uber driver just said on the way here, or asked me, when he was saying, what do I do? I said, okay, well, you need to break it down. And I break it down into three things, right? Content creation. Now, that's not just social media. Content creation could be, for example, me and my brother were having a heated discussion the other week, and I wanted to say something directly to him, but I didn't want to escalate the discussion. So I was like, okay, let me go into ChatGPT. This is what I want to say, but I don't want to escalate the discussion, right? It's already pretty heated. And it's like, okay, cool. You could say it like this. Now, I didn't just copy and paste, but it gave me an idea of what to say. It prompted me, right? So you prompt these LLMs so that they can prompt you. It prompted me on what to say. I was like, okay, cool. I'll copy and paste, but then I'll tweak a few things. Boom. And then my solution is I got my solution, right? The situation was resolved. That is as much content creation as social media. Personal relationship, networking, management, how you speak and interact with people. Mm-hmm. So that was number one, content creation. Secondly, you have conducting research. Now, this includes, Twitter, any form of social media, you learning something on YouTube, prompting LLMs, the kids that are, even the kids that are doom scrolling, their dopamine receptors, the death, that's a form of research, right? And it's basically for you to acquire more information. All of that is research, and AI can speed up that process. And lastly, you have automation, which is, of course, just, using an AI to do manual tasks that you would have to do repetitively, but allow them to automate it so that you don't have to keep doing those tasks, and you can still get that information or that data pipeline, and the movement of resources can still happen. Digital resources can still happen without you having to be present. Instead, it's just fed to you in the final form for you to consume. Now, the beauty of AI agents is that they actually harmoniously provide all of those three primary value adds into one sort of singular interface and platform. And, the people listening will realize that I've really described more than 50% of what pretty much everyone on the planet does on a day-to-day. Mm. So that's why I just think this AI stuff, I was in my music studio making, songs for myself, songs for other clients. And when I discovered this, I was like, this is the future. Everyone's going to think, I'm a bit strange, but not everyone matters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a Kanye quote.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like, so I think some people don't like me, but not everybody likes me, but not everybody matters. I love that one.
But honestly, on the end of the day, it's about you and your life. It's just, you need to don't care about what other people think and what other people, doing, and just do your own thing, your own way. So there's I was talking to a couple of people about that YouTube channel I'm doing, generating AI videos.
Nice.
Which I show you some screenshots of the progress of how his YouTube channel is doing. YouTube channel is doing really well.
It's looking good.
And now I'm just trying to work out and this is one of the things I like to talk to you about today. Probably, maybe we can go through it quickly.
Let's do it.
I consulting a lot of different people from my network and showing the process how I'm producing the content to actually make it more efficient, so I don't have to spend so much time on it. And at the moment, content is AI generated, and is interesting because YouTube allow you to generate monetize AI content as long as educational. This is one of the things YouTube says. As long as educational, you can monetize AI generated content.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. So
policy.
So I want to take advantage of that and generating this AI avatars when it's me actually saying things, which is not actually me, but I generate some ideas which I believe, this is like kind of my religion, I believe how you should go through life or through the business to be successful. And I apply to that to my life on daily basis. So I just want to spill that ideas through the AI generated content, which I don't have time to just sit down and film. And that give you opportunity to get that exposure through the AI avatars to generate more content, educational content, spilling the truth, kind of for some people. Mm-hmm. But I already, even after doing that, only for a couple of weeks, I already get that like feedback, like, oh, it's just AI garbage, some people say. Mm. But it's kind of the same thing when people say about electricity, the same thing people say about internet, the same people say about car when they could start creating them. But at the moment, the same as you, we both believe AI is the future, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I go as far as to say AI is the present and has been the present for a while, because social media was the first form of AI, which was AI that curates, and now we're in the large language model era, which is AI that creates. So everyone's already addicted to AI. Algorithms are the ones to decide what you see on your feed. The only way in which humans are involved is the content generated itself, but how it's fed to you, how everything is laid out, that's all based on extensive amounts of information. So I guess to answer your question about, workflows when it comes to using AI to create content at scale, I think there are 3 levels to it. I think there's firstly having what I call a prompt bank or prompt library, which is a series of prompts that you can use and reuse, because there are some prompts that you're going to want to just pass things into so that you can get the same kind of brand voice, brand aesthetic, brand tone, right? So that's the first thing. Build up a great prompt library or prompt bank for your particular personal brand, startup, business, or corporation. Mm. And then you want to build up an aesthetic guideline, right? As in for images this time. So you've got the one for text, you get one for images. The one for images ideally is one that you can also use with videos. So for example, I have a particular aesthetic for my image, like J.I., as I call him, right? He was created using a platform called Replicate. So I trained what's called a LoRa, which is a low-rank adaptation. I won't get too technical, but essentially I uploaded a bunch of pictures into a model, just drag and drop, waited about 5 minutes, and then I said, okay, so now whenever I want to create an image of me, I just have to say J.I. and then in whatever I want. Like let's say J.I. going for a swim, doing whatever, but obviously you can be creative with your prompt. So you want to get the sort of prompt for your images and your visuals correct. So now we have the voice and then we get the visuals. And then lastly, at the final end, I think it's going to come down to APIs, which is just connecting things to connecting applications between each other, right? Mm-hmm. Application programming interfaces. So you need to get an API that's going to start off with the script, eventually get the visual right, unless you're using the same visual like I do for JI, and then eventually just process the video, and then lastly, potentially even upload it to YouTube. And that'll be the final form where you sort of like, you don't do anything, you get an RSS feed from the latest discoveries in AI, and within like half an hour, you've got a video on YouTube out ready to go, and all you had to do is double check. Maybe you didn't even have to edit anything.
So where are you with, because are you posting one video a day at the moment? Because
I am posting one video a day. I've only been doing this for about 2 weeks, and I can't lie, it's a lot, but it would have been a whole lot more if I had to record visuals. All I do is record my voice, mm-hmm. and that's all thanks to HeyGen.
Okay. So what is the still manual process you're going through with that production. How long does it take you? So it's like two-part question. How long does it take you to produce that one video? And how long is the video? 5 minutes?
Videos are usually never longer than 10 minutes, depending on if like a particular AI product or service gets in touch with me and wants me to do a deep dive, emails are always open. And for the most part, it is typically like less than 5 minutes. So they're sort of short videos, because I realize a lot of people are apprehensive about just approaching the technology, just typing in a prompt. People are nervous about that. And I'm like, come on, it's not that difficult. So I realize I can provide a lot of value. The manual aspects are still me actually using the tool. So literally doing a voiceover over a screen recording of me using the tool.
But you still need to generate the prompt you're gonna say, kind of, or how you scripting that? How do you know what you want to say? You know already. You're just going with the flow, or you're still using ChatGPT at the stage where you're actually scripting the video for voiceover?
Do you know what? So far, I've only ever been just going with the flow, because the videos are so short, and and I like actually discovering these things. I think the discoveries I make as I'm going with the flow is what gives it that human kind of element. I think if I just automate everything out of it, or just make sure everything has, a very clinical sounding, impact, I think it's gonna devalue it a bit. There has to be a level of creativity, and I think the voice is one of the greatest windows into the soul. And I was blessed with a pretty cool voice, I've been told.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You can look at my videos of me singing.
You have really deep voice.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's quite rich. So I figure, okay, this is something that's very unique to me. I need to make sure like I catch all the emotion in my voice when I'm recording these voiceovers, because people already know the visuals are AI. It's cool, but yeah, some people might just be like, ugh, AI slop. So I need to make sure it sounds like me, because they'll see it, they'll think it's AI, but then their ears will think, it sounds like it's actually him.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's true. That's true, actually, what you're saying, and you're actually giving a lot of good value by saying what you're saying. I'm only trying to apply that, what you are saying, to that what I'm already doing with AI. And I think because I'm generating everything by AI, including my voice, which you remember I showed you the AI avatar voice which has been created, but I still struggle to make it like sounds real. So this is probably something I need to look into it, because when I see your videos, I see the AI generated visuals, but this is still your voice.
Yes, sir.
Which is pretty cool. Like you apply this way. And one of the videos you sent me showing one of the AI tools searching for prices, like best prices what was it?
That was proxy by convergence using browser use. I was just searching for some trainers within a budget in my size, and that was basically, I could see the agent just moving the mouse, clicking and typing.
Yeah, so what I want to say was structure of the idea and structure of the video was pretty simple, but how you walk me through it was pretty cool, by saying what you are doing next and what you're applying. It was simple and easy to receive for me as a user, as a potential viewer and user of the app. So I think you did a great work for reviewing this for them.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, no, they're usually very happy about it. I recently did one on a company called Fashion AI, fashion spelled FASHN. They do really cool stuff, and I know you do a lot of shoots with people in fashion, and that's really cool. I think you could potentially combine it. I don't think AI has to replace. I think AI can augment. A lot of people are saying, oh, my job's going to go because, AI is going to take it. But what I'm noticing, and take it from someone who, at this point, I've educated over 1,000, mid to high level C-suite executives from corporations all over the world. I know, it's crazy, right?
Mate, nice work.
Yeah, I know. I counted it recently. I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of workshops. It's a lot of teaching. What's happening is this. Global corporations are educating the most vital executives in their businesses, the most important people that they need. And this goes down to startups as well. What they're doing is this. They get them all in a room, they give them AI education, they see which ones are the best at it, and they fire the rest. That's what's going to happen.
And it's happening already.
Yeah, that's exactly. In fact, that's an excellent correction. That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Every single day on a small scale, but that is what it's building up to. And that's what I see all the time whenever I'm facilitating workshops.
I was reading, actually, one of the things I want to tell you when we met, I was reading the news about Google Cloud department being cut, and they fired like 100 people, and that been explained why they done it, because it's like correction of the direction where they're going with, and they're investing more in AI structure business than actually hiring people.
Oh yeah, in fact, I'm going to drop some major game on everyone right now, and anyone who actually wants to be relevant financially, from a personal brand point of view, or from any sort of business point of view, is going to listen to this. There's going to be no more low-level tasks doing, like, none of that kind of stuff. It's all going to get automated out. There's going to be a bunch of AI agents at the bottom. That's it. The next level is going to be a bunch of people, maybe 3 to 5, maybe 10. In the biggest corporations, maybe 20. Managing those bots, managing all of those AI agent bots, doing a bunch of different things, finance, sales, marketing, all of that kind of stuff. And then at the top, it's probably going to be like maybe 1, 2, 3 people who are answering to the shareholders. You want to be either a shareholder or the one who's talking to the shareholders about the people who are managing the AI agents. That's it. That's how you future-proof yourself. Understand how to use AI to augment, not just to rely on it, because there's using AI and there's just being absolutely lazy. And I love this transformational technological evolution we're going through, because it's shining a massive light on who's actually able to apply pressure to their initiatives and who's just fucking lazy.
Spilling some truth, mate. Honestly, I agree. I couldn't put that better, mate. You are on the top of it, and you start using it, and you start applying that to your business, or you drown.
Yeah,
this is it. I mean, every business. I remember first time when I started using ChatGPT, when I discovered that I was honest with my clients when I was talking to my clients. I said, like, AI helping me with everything at the moment, helping me structure my quotes you're receiving, helping me structure my emails you're receiving. I was transparent. I didn't hide that I'm using AI, and people just giving that kind of like rolling eyes. It's not me in this. But if you want to speed up your workflow and you want to grow your business, you need to delegate tasks. And as I told you before, I've been in that point when ChatGPT first come out. I was in the point like I have so much task to cover. I was thinking I need to get someone to help me go through this, or video editor, or someone who's gonna doing all admin work, covering, like, responding to the emails and all this task. And end of the day, ChatGPT come out and it's just free up so much of my time. I didn't have to get anyone. I just go through whatever I need to do with admin work, responding to the quotes, creating some scripts for my video work with ChatGPT.
Yeah, man, you've really got it. You got it right on the head. Like, the only enemy is time and yourself, but ideally it should just be time. And if you can maintain, or in some cases even improve, the quality of your output whilst collapsing timeframes, which is really what I specialize in whenever I'm working with global corporations and startups, then you will be almost superhuman. People will look at you like, you are next level. And you just brought me on to the topic of what I like to call, or what I've sort of called techism, which is basically techism. Like TECH and then just ism. You know, like you've got racism, sexism, techism, which is the prejudice against people who are not technologically advanced, adept, or capable. Like, if you don't know how to use technology, you're going to be significantly underprivileged in absolutely every market in the future. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and I think to a certain degree, techism is going to wipe out all the other isms. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to be like it's going to be like a leveler to a degree. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, none of these other demographic groups that you belong to really matter. What really matters is how good are you with the tech and what can you accomplish with it?
Mm-hmm. I agree. So my first question, I just want to play with it a bit. I mean, it's just come up to my head, this idea. If we need to speculate, because we already know who potentially lost the jobs, like copywriters.
Yeah.
even I was talking to my wife yesterday, like music artists. She disagree with me, but I agree and disagree with her because she was saying like music artists they never gonna lose the job because they giving the soul to it, and you cannot use AI to create that solely experience through the music. And I agree to that, but at the same time, you need to be really good to go through this to get that point when people gonna really like. Saying you're really good and we want to listen to you and they want to travel around the world and see you live playing somewhere. But there's lots of people already lost the work, even in like stock music, sounds, creating the sounds. This is all generated. Most of it can be generated already by AI. Adobe is start creating this idea when you actually make the sound with your mouth.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's generating this sound which connected with the visuals representing on the screen. So this is insane. People gonna lose their job very fast, a lot of people. So we already know who is losing jobs, and my question is, who will be next, do you think? It's gonna be like video departments, who is closer, like the next stage, when it's gonna be that breakthrough in AI, in which part of AI that's gonna increase loss, how would you say it?
Increase the loss of jobs.
Loss of jobs, yeah.
Well, I think for the most part, I like to think of it in terms of like what are the steps of a multimodal sort of AI system, which is an AI system that can basically interact with not just text, but also images. So I think anything that's largely text-based or text-based, yeah, that's gone. Or will be very soon. More and more of it will be gone. I think the next thing is anything image-based. Like, I don't know if you've used, well, actually, no, I do know if you've used Midjourney recently.
Yeah. I didn't use it recently, but I used it in past, like when they started.
Yeah, and that, like, okay, well, then you should definitely use it recently.
I will give it a
Yeah, you should definitely use it sometime soon because it is unbelievable, man. I think photographers are probably going to be some of the next ones to go, only if they're not able to augment their photography skills with AI, right? And then afterwards, I think it's going to be video, because I break it down into the way we understand the world, and we understand the world through our 5 senses, right? So it's like if AI can input or can take in information from all of those senses, right? Sound, understands text, you know. There's even, I remember seeing a device like a laptop that can provide smells.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing that like a weeks ago, and I'm like, so now you can be on a laptop and it can synthesize a smell for you to, like, we're getting closer and closer to like virtual reality. Do you know what I mean? Like just people being in, you know, kind of like the Wall-E movie, just, you know, fat slobs, just, do you know what I mean? Everywhere, just, but it's going to be a matter of like, who's able to augment their creativity with AI. That's what it all comes down to. Can you augment your creative processes with AI? So for me, it's really about making sure I know how to use the technology to maximize my creativity. And yeah, that's what I would say is the key thing for everyone to learn at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about talking about something different, because animations, like video animations, like we've been joining the RITS workshops to the video animations, graphic animations. Do you know any tools who actually do that, AI tools that actually doing like that kind of level of animations that you can, or is not there yet?
I don't know any that are doing that kind of level, but, you know, remember, as I always say, the future is always already here. Just because I don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Of course. So, but you are ahead of most of the people, because I remember you mentioned you're subscribing to like over 200, 300 different technologies for.
Oh yeah, in terms of like the newsletters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I go through them really quick and I see what is repeated. You know what I mean? So I just skim through all of them and I'm like, oh, I'm seeing this word or this phrase or this news. I don't know any that are on the level of maths.
No, that's okay. I just asking because I'm curious if there's something I missed, because I'm trying to stay on the top of it, not the same level as you. I just started talking with ChatGPT. I have a question, and I just a ChatGPT question, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. And that's going back to generating the YouTube video generated content. So what do you think? What do you think about that? Because YouTube at the moment monetized educational content, which is you doing educational content. reviewing products and just talking in general about AI. But do you think there's a threat for AI generated content on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram that's gonna be like kind of you're gonna get the like shadow ban on YouTube or anyone who's generating the content? Are we at risk actually investing our time into this? Because I'm heavily investing in producing this content on YouTube right now, and my goal is to make it as much automated as possible, so I don't have to spend time on it. Even get people to do that for me. I'm at this level to just invest that time and invest this money to just be able to monetize on AI generated content on YouTube. So I'm just worried or just thinking, is there a risk YouTube is actually gonna like say, oh, if everyone gonna start doing this, imagine like everyone's get smart like next year, and so many people gonna start doing AI generated content on YouTube. How YouTube potentially could deal with it?
Well, they can't shadow ban it all because it's going to be too much. And a lot of the internet is already like now AI generated. So if they shadow ban it all, then they're going to be shadow banning the majority of what's getting uploaded, which wouldn't make any sense. Because people will then, that's going to create pressure and people will want to move to other platforms that don't do that. I think...
Is it a good question I'm asking?
Yeah, no, it's an exceptional question. It's a really good question because, of course, no one wants the loss of investment on their time, right? And everyone wants to make sure there is at least some longevity to their workflow when it comes to generating AI, at least AI augmented content. What I would say is it's more important to focus on brand partnerships when you're generating content with AI, because the amount of VC money that is flowing into these startups and these companies, they want to invest in, like, I've already made profit off my YouTube channel, which is not even monetizable on YouTube yet, right? Because brands have come to me, sent me emails saying, we like what you do, can you review our product? They'll pay me half up front, half on the videos released. Do you know what I mean? And they're very enthusiastic. So I think it's not just about, you know, trying to pander to the platforms, but also trying to educate and spread awareness of the AI products that are actually doing well. Like, I'm also quite rigorous in terms of the AI products I choose to review, even though I'm doing it every day, so I need lots. There's so many out there. Like, I still have to be very like rigorous, because if I see a terrible AI service or product, I'm not going to review that. That's going to hurt the quality of my brand. Do you know what I mean? So I think, firstly, make sure you're reviewing products and services that are actually valuable and useful and have great use cases, or ones that are, I guess, backed by big companies, big brands, Adobe, Google. Even if for example, let's say they get something wrong and they release an AI product that doesn't really make sense, you can make a video about that, because at least they've still got the corporate clout of them being a big company. But try and focus more on the brand partnerships as opposed to just monetizing off the social media platforms. That's going to come much quicker.
Man, you're spilling some really good truth, because you literally with every question, because I have some ideas, but my thoughts is going like to the blind spots, and you like kind of redirect me, which is pretty cool, because that's what I'm doing for YouTube. I think, okay, can generate some views, may work out, but it's not related to like brand partnership or like kind of affiliation. So this is actually could be a good idea. I done the first video on YouTube, which is that was just a test, and I make the review for Revolut app. It was just tests. That was one of the first video I generated with AI, and my idea is to kind of review all of the platforms I'm using that offer affiliations for creators like me, like Squarespace. I'm using a website Squarespace. I reach out to them to do the affiliations with them and try to generate an AI video reviewing the platform, like just based on using ChatGPT. So yeah, I think that's what you are saying is make absolutely sense too. If you're generating content, it cannot be only educational. It need to be kind of partnership related, because you can monetize so much faster other than waiting for YouTube monetization, which can take another half year or 2 years. It depends how frequently you're posting and other things, which you don't know. You never know.
Absolutely. I mean, if anyone wants to employ my strategy of posting every day, I don't see why you won't already start getting brands, at least get in touch within the first month. You're telling me if you post 30 videos consecutively into the algorithm of a social media platform, because they care about volume and consistency, it's going to start getting recommended to people. It has to, right? And these brands will get in touch, like eventually. If you're providing a decent quality of content, they will inevitably get in touch because they want the micro influencers and people sort of on the fringe of these kind of technologies to actually use to be ambassadors of their products. Do you know what I mean? Because they're small scale startups. They've got a decent sized amount of capital to fund into marketing, but they still can't go for the biggest marketing, budgets that, let's say global corporations can. So they're looking for these micro influencers. And once you get enough of these micro influencers, there'll be enough of a buzz online, which they're probably detecting using social listening tools, that's actually going to still, be effective in terms of their marketing efforts.
Mm-hmm. So, so when did you start doing YouTube? How long is it?
Well, I mean, I decided to keep my same YouTube for back when I was a music artist. So I was uploading videos here and there, nothing too crazy. I was doing I've always done a lot of stuff. I've always been very active, like in terms of creativity and entrepreneurship. Most people just know me primarily for the creativity and my background as a music artist and my music career. But I really started going like ham on YouTube, like let's say 2.5 weeks ago, where I was like, okay, I'm just going to post every day. And I want to see how long I can go for. Do you know what I mean? Just post every single day. Because I have a list of things that I have to do every single day without fail. You know what I mean? One of them is like, I wake up, drink some water and just got to bang out 100 push-ups. Just every single day. Sometimes all in one go, sometimes not, but they have to get done. And when you do that, you realize the key is to be impatient with your actions and patient with the results. And once you do that for long enough, you'll come to the conclusion that life moves at the speed of your consistency.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And there's a lot of people actually give up without realizing you just need to be consistent and just repeat. It's just always about that last step. Just repeat that again and again and again and apply. And I'm a lot in the last 3 years doing what I'm doing with my business. I've been a lot in the position when I actually kind of doubted.
Okay.
I had this am I doing this right? Just question myself. And, I think it's a healthy idea to understand where you're going, because I get to the point when stagnation hit the business.
Right.
And because I'm still in development of my business, I was doing always the same thing and trying something different from time to time. But you don't want to spread too much of your time to doing different things. You just probably best idea, from my experience, just focusing on one thing, going to the one direction instead of doing few things at the same time. Especially when you start up by yourself. So now I learn that doubt is always gonna come, because it's happening, if you're doing something for a long time and repeating the same thing. But for me, it's always disappear pretty much the same moment at this point. Sometimes I wake up and there's quiet day, I have no meetings or I don't have any calls coming in or emails. And even that one day can change my mood, why are they not calling? I have that. It's silly. My wife is always making a joke about me. It's your mood swings and switchings from day to day. One day you have you're taking 4 bookings for the next couple of weeks and you're excited and buzzing, and another day is quiet, because I don't know. I'm just operating at the moment. My brain is operating on this kind of hype. I need to do always something, and it's at the moment for me. It's not about even doing something, but idea. I can help someone else, help the business. Someone is actually coming to my door and want to pay me money to help grow their business. I think this is the biggest hype for me. It's not about even like we talked before. You asked me before, and you're not the only one asking me this before. Am I excited about video production?
Yeah.
Or not even passionate about it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not passionate about this. I'm passionate about doing a business. I think that would be the right answer after several people asking me this, and I didn't have that answer. Am I actually passionate about video production? No, but I get to the point when I was in a point in my life when I don't want to do what I'm doing, and I have an opportunity to work in video production, and I have these people around me doing video production and doing photography, and I have this free knowledge and free resources to actually ask the friend, like, how do I do that? How do I press this button on the camera? And you know, I had this, and not a lot of people have a chance to do this. So probably that what I'm doing now with video production could be potentially bridged to something else for me.
Definitely, I think you're already going in the right direction with motion graphics, you know, and learning what Matt's doing. I mean, even for me, it's already elevating my kind of like knowledge on how I can create content. Like, can you imagine if I add knowledge from motion graphics into the AI generated content, bro? That's a whole new world.
Yeah, that was sick, right?
And even the stuff we've seen that we've been sharing with each other on Instagram, bro, we absolutely have to make content like that. We'll absolutely kill it. We can just make concept marketing ads for companies and just like be like, yeah, this is what it should be.
I mean, that what you sent me, that video you sent me, looks sick.
Bro, it's so cold. It's like 3D, it's AI generated, but it looks so realistic. It looks realistic, imaginative, and futuristic, but not in a techie kind of way, more in a imagination kind of way. Like, this is the future of human imagination. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. But also, I was talking to Dennis about this. Dennis is one of the photographers I'm working with. He's part of Onemarsmedia Limited team. And he also is a freelancer doing his own thing, but helping me out quite a lot on my project. And we've been talking about this. I was showing him that video yesterday. And my feedback about this and question potentially would be, if this isn't, I think that could be potentially a hype for a lot of brands for over the next year, potentially this summer, because it's already there. You just showed me that, so it's already out there. People talking about this. And question is, if that's gonna stay around or it's gonna be disappear again, it's gonna be something different, because that could happen. Why I'm saying this, because do you remember those videos? A lot of brands been doing this. When footage of something is real, for example, like Big Ben, but the rest of it is like kind of generated. It's not AI generated, it was Blender generated, like some balls jumping through the street, and you can see, it looks like real. But
yeah, that was AR, where they augment reality. So they add something else to it. So they'll take like Big Ben and then they'll add something else to it that obviously would never happen in real life, but it just makes you think that's quite interesting and it captivates the eye. I think there's some space for that. I think that sort of had its time. I remember when that was, you know, what everyone was talking about. But I think that one is a bit more gimmicky. It had its time, do you know what I mean? But it's a bit more of a gimmick. Whereas I think the kind of stuff I was sending to you on Instagram is a whole reimagination of the aesthetic and how the brand wants to connect with the consumer and other businesses on a deeply emotional level. Do you know what I mean? It's like a better visual representation of the emotion and the transformation their product or service provides.
I agree. The visuals you sent me was pretty cool. I mean,
whoa, it's crazy.
They all been created kind of similar. They've all been similar in the idea of the space. There was just one person always in the center, and you had that beautiful space around them. It's pretty cool. So what would be your idea if we need to, like, without knowing, because I don't know if how much of you using actually, let me rephrase that. How do you using those tools at all on daily basis? Because you mentioned you know those tools, but I don't remember if you mentioned actually using them.
Yes, actually, in fact, there is a company that just got in touch with me. I'm in the process of making a 30-minute long like deep dive into them, and they're basically like an all-in-one AI designed studio suite, and you can do that kind of stuff with them. You can change backgrounds, you can change. It's amazing. You can use it for fashion photography, you can use it for interiors, you can use it to create things, you can use it as an upscaler. They're really cool because what you can do is you can create the image. So let's say we have a product image, you create that image of the product, you upscale it, or you create multiple images and then you choose a best one, right, as is the best practice, and then you upscale it, and then you then go from image to video and you describe exactly how you want the video to work. So the camera movement and that kind of stuff. But it's really about making sure you get the aesthetic right on the way in, kind of like with, obviously my background's in music, like whenever I'm recording vocals or recording any instrument, like it has to sound good on the way in. Do you know what I mean? And kind of like with photography as well, like if you're shooting in RAW, it has to look good on the way in, because even if someone's a Michelin star chef, if they're using ingredients from a garbage bin, you know what I mean, it's not going to taste good. Your skills are magnified by your tools, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, your skills to a degree are magnified by your tools. And I don't completely agree with the concept of like, you know, a bad workman blames his tools. I think that's definitely a thing. That's definitely like can be widespread, but it's like at some point, your skills should always be above the level of tools that you have access to. And that's just what I'm trying to do. Because there's so many tools out there right now. But I'll share with you probably off camera, because that's one of the tools that, you know,
You don't have to
to myself. I mean, I'm going to be completely transparent now. I know people are going to see this and they're going to be like, oh, but everyone keeps business.
Honestly, we're just gonna share what we want from out of this.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect.
We don't have to say it right now if you don't want, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, I was going to say how I categorize tools and how I recommend other people to categorize tools if they're really like interested in, you know, being knowledgeable about AI. So it's estimated about 60% of jobs will be gone in the next 10 years. So I have a section of tools I give to everyone for free. Things I'll tell everyone no matter what, you know, no matter who they are. And then there are tools, you know, people are going to have to pay me for, right? And then there are tools I'm not telling anyone.
But you never sell the recipe until you you make a success on this, what you know.
Exactly.
It's always like this.
Yeah, so I have to use it, I have to test it, I have to find out as many edge cases I can, literally test it pretty much to death. And then once I know how to use it, like from the ground up, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'll wait a little while. Once I see the traction, like once I see it's getting popular and I don't want to be too late to the party, then I'll be like, okay, and then I'll move it from the column of things I would never tell anyone to the column of things people have to pay me for. And then eventually it will go to the column of things I'll tell everyone for free, because this space moves so quick. There are things that I discover. For example, I've been using DeepSeek since November 2024. It was only, yeah, man.
And people start talking only January about this, or February. It's recently, right?
Exactly. Like this year, I've been using it for about 3 months before the whole, US stock market liquidations, before all of that. I was, because I was well informed and connected. I already knew, and I have, receipts to prove. Like I have my chat history there on DeepSeek from November.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but that was in the column of things I wasn't going to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And then it moved to the column of things people have to pay me for, and now it's in the column of things everyone knows for free.
It's all about knowledge at those days, right? That's what you know, and who you know is just so important. Like.
Absolutely.
In your development.
Who you know, and what's also extremely important that people don't realize is who knows you. You know what I mean? Because there are people who I don't know, but they know me, and they know what I can do. So they get in touch with me, even though I don't know them. And, your network is your net worth, but that's what leads you to your next work. Do you know what I mean? Many thanks to my mate, Nomadic, who put me onto that. But it's like, if you're looking for your next work, it's going to come from someone, in a lot of cases, someone you know, if you're well connected in the real world. But in some cases, it's going to be someone who knows you if you're capable of positioning yourself as a thought leader via digital content, so that you can actually have your personal brand as a never-ending lead magnet, attracting clients and people who want to pay for your services.
It's quite interesting because as more you niche down with that what you are doing, the more chances and more opportunities you have. Because I'm just gonna compare that like in 3 stages from all of the people I know. Like Matt, he's doing animations. I know you're doing AI, and I'm doing video production. And from all 3 of us, you are I think in best position to be like super successful in the future. Because why I'm saying this? Comparing me and Matt on the task on that we'll be creating and how we're creating, is Matt on a higher level and better positioned as me, because I think video production is at risk in some point because of the AI. It's not necessarily it will be not completely gone, because we still need that human touch to all this. But in terms of how AI generating images and where everything is going with that, could be at risk for potentially, I don't know, for filmmakers, because I see that content that being created for mini series movies by AI. I'm sure you see some of the contents like mini movies, or I don't know how to call them.
AI films.
Yes. So, but how you say before, you want to be the guy who's managing the bots, or you want to be the guy who's responding to shareholders. And talking to the guys who manage the...
I want to be the guy who manages the guys that manage the bots.
Exactly. Or you want to be a shareholder.
Or the shareholder, yeah. But that's, I mean, if you don't come from a privileged background, that's how you become a shareholder very quickly.
Yeah.
You can be, if you're the guy who's managing the guys that manage the bots.
Mm-hmm. And exactly, you're creating that universe for yourself.
Yeah, and that infrastructure is really important, you know, because people respond to infrastructure.
I agree. So, yeah, that's why I love talking to you about this, what we are talking right now.
Likewise, man.
That's why I love doing workshop with Matt and everything, because I want to soak in everything what you guys doing, because I believe what Matt is doing and what you are doing is just a kind of future to go through and go towards to, you know, you cannot, AI is not gonna go anywhere.
No,
like you mentioned, it's here. It's been here for a while, like you say, and you just need to be on the top of it all the time.
100%. It's like a second coming of the internet. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine, so AI has been around for about, 3 years now? ChatGPT was released on the 30th of November 2022. It's 2025.
22,
now.
Wow, okay, it's not so far. I mean, I thought it feels like it's been around so much longer.
It's because of the time warp that AI is also doing and how it's affecting how every human being sees time. Which is a whole other topic, but if I remember correctly, internet was invented around 1985, right? Imagine it's 1988, right? So 3 years after, right? And someone says to you, hey, do you want to learn about the internet? I think it's going to be a big deal. Everyone would be like, yeah, especially before 99% of the entire world. Now, AI is moving much faster and much more exponential.
Oh, yes.
But it's still only been 3 years that this sort of generative AI has been available to the masses.
And it's crazy where we're going to be in 20 years with AI.
I can't wait. It's going to be wild. It's going to show who has skills and who doesn't.
I think you just said about the internet, it just reminded me about, you know Gary Vee?
Yeah.
He used to be a wine seller. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking on his YouTube channel about this, how he get into the wine business and how he grow his business. His father ran this wine store. And when his father employed him to help him to do the work, his idea was, let's put the business online and put it on the website. And at the time, internet was just start developing. So not a lot of people was understanding that you need to be online. And so he was fortunate enough and he was smart enough to put his knowledge on YouTube and put it on the web. So he was one of the first person talking on YouTube about wine. And you can see his first video, and he was smart enough to jump on YouTube and actually use YouTube and social media as a tool for business. Not a lot of people that been using that as a business at the time, because they didn't realize they can monetize it. And it's the same with the ads. It's like ads space is gonna be getting more and more expensive. So one of the things he was saying was pretty cool because when ads first come up to the internet and people realize you can promote yourself through the ads, paid ads, it was super cheap because that space was only start filling up and there was lots of space for people to actually promote themselves through the ad. But now there's so many people promoting and it's getting more and more expensive. And in few years, if you're not gonna jump on the paid ads now, it's gonna be very difficult for you actually be able to afford that to actually promote yourself through the ads. Wow. Because that space is like kind of, I'm comparing that now, it wasn't him, but I would say it's like Bitcoin. There's only limited space and limited amount of Bitcoin you can buy. It's gonna be more and more expensive. People are gonna purchase more and more. So there's so much. I think they're still mining Bitcoin, right? It's not all mined yet, but it's like with the ads, it's pretty much the same. There's just limited space of that, how much you can promote yourself, and certain time and certain days. It's different price, when you're gonna promote it. So it's just pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it really is an auction because there's only so much human attention that in a day, right? If you I guess find a way to measure attention and you add it all up, So yeah, it's going to be an auction, and whoever has the most amount of money is going to get it. And I think that's a very interesting perspective to have towards paid ads, because everyone, or some people are, oh, we don't have too much money for, to pay for ads and stuff. And it's kind of like, you think it's expensive now, just wait 5 years. It's going to be like astronomical. You're going to wish, you're going to be begging to have ran as many ads as you could back then, do you know what I mean? And built up, your social media presence is just so you could finally get a very lengthy list of emails so that do you know what I mean? Because I think social media is, the main aim of social media should be to get as many emails as possible. Because
So I'll come again. The main goal of social media
should be to get as many emails as possible, because
get emails from the clients.
From people, from clients and people who enjoy your content.
Okay.
Because the best algorithm is no algorithm. When you get directly to the people and they see what you send them, as opposed to just spitballing on an algorithm which you have to try and figure out. Do you know what I mean? But once you've figured out, okay, this person likes my content a lot, they keep engaging, they keep commenting, let me get their email so I don't have to, so it's no longer a lottery at all. So I know I can reach them with content that I know they find valuable in future.
Do you do newsletters for your audience or not yet?
I have a sort of, not frequently, but my newsletters used to be, of course, for my music career. And now I've made one email about the transition from music to AI to people who are already on my list. But that's definitely something I want to build up a bit more. You know what I mean? And I think everyone else should. I'm already in the process of.
I'm sure people want to hear it from your newsletter as well, because you kind of because you're absorbing all this knowledge and you can kind of summarize which is bullshit, which is not.
Yeah, it's just straight value. You know what I mean? Time is the fire in which we all burn. So let's
But this is this is how you create your selling funnels, right? You are like, hey, I have a newsletter for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a look. Yeah, and hey, I got this thing. You can have a look. It's for free. And after you're like, okay, I got this product. I have this course or whatever.
There we go. I mean, stay well informed and connected.
Yeah.
So about things before people. Because so much of life is just about being first.
That's true. I know at least 2 people from my close environment selling online courses, and they're making good decent money on it. I mean, they're selling them very cheap, because they go between 10 pounds to £100.
Okay.
Because market is so oversaturated right now with some of the ideas, you can get it always somewhere cheaper. So that's why it's so cheap. But when you sell this 15,000 times, because you can see how many times his course was sold. So on the website it says it's over 15,000 times been sold for 15 or 20 pounds.
That's good.
So it's decent money for doing what just for 20 pounds.
Nice.
I believe. So it's just one of the kind of passive income you can potentially grow.
Sweet. Is he just running paid ads towards it?
I'm not sure how he funneling towards that, but I think it's one of those websites when there's a lot of different courses, and when people searching something they want to learn, they can find him on this website. I cannot remember the website right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, selling education is always important. And one of the reasons I decided to make my sort of transition from, I guess, some more creative industry to a more technical industry, even though AI is one of the most creative endeavors I've ever discovered, dare I say, even more creative than music and any kind of visual art, is because I realized that mindless entertainment just distracts you from the life that you have, whereas purposeful education gets you closer to the life that you want. And I wanted my legacy on this planet to be, this guy helped people get the lives that they wanted, instead of he just distracted people from the lives that they had. Of course, my music always had elements of personal development and growth into it, but I just felt like this is a much more direct way of providing straight value.
I love that what you just said. I think we're going towards the same direction. Because this is one of the ideas I have. I love helping people, and I met the guy from South Arabi magazine a couple of days ago.
Okay.
He's I never met, I don't know, I have no idea who the man is, but he was kind of directing the project we've been working on. And he was spilling some truth about how he created. He's in his 80s or something. And he's a legend in the industry. Everyone treating him like a legend. And he was talking about how he managed to grow his business in 30 years. and it was all about like helping out people, and even on the way doing it for free, because on the end when he helps someone grow, they always come back and give you money back.
Wow.
So that was his experience. He gave me like there was lots of people he believed in on the way, and when you met the right people and you invest your time in these people, it at the end of the day is kind of paying back years later, and you never know. And I think it's kind of the truth, because through the journey I've been going, I experienced that as well, but I never think I kind of could monetize it in the future just being kind to people. But you never know who you're gonna meet. I met so many great people on my journey to the point where I'm right now. I network with so many people. I managed to provide work to these amazing people, photographers, video editors, videographers, when they've been only starting up straight from uni or whatever. Nice. And now, after years, when they finish uni and they're getting into the industry seriously, they opening own businesses, they actually getting me involved with projects. So
nice.
It's pretty cool, like, you know, getting this network. I just been blessed. Nice. I never think it's gonna work this way. But when he said that a couple of days ago, that man just said that like you give your love, and the love is coming back at some point, and people bring you money on the tray. I think this works. Nice.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, there've been people who, similarly have come back to me years later and been like, oh, remember that thing you taught me, or that thing you said like years ago that really inspired me? Like, it completely changed my outlook, and then it changed how I move forward in life. And it was really valuable. And then they come back and provide value to me. And it's not, and I wouldn't have, like, I mean, it's not like I completely forgot about them. I remembered it, but it was never like I was holding on to it with this kind of expectation of they've got to pay me back. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I did that, being good at the eternal reward. Do you know what I mean? I'll be, compensated nicely by the universe or whatever comes my way, or whatever, whatever anyone wants to believe in. And things just, happen to work out for good. If I find that if you genuinely try and be a positive force in the world. Do you know what? I've got a question for you, man.
Okay. Go ahead.
You said you weren't always passionate about video editing. At any point, were there some moments where you thought, this is actually more interesting than I thought it was?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like I hate it. I never hate what I'm doing. It was always about, for me, when I started first doing this, was pretty cool when I get the first paid job after posting on social media, because I think posting on social media, posting your work on social media is a key to successful business. And once when I start doing videos, when I look at them now, they all archive on my social media because they look shitty now after years. But they bring me work. First video I started doing, I was just doing with my partner, my ex-partner at the time, where I just started filming food videos in the kitchen, and she was helping me out, like all of the props and taking all of the takes, playing with the food and all the things. And it was just for fun, just cooking. We just been cooking, so I was just filming this, and it was a creative way. And I get the light. I start filming with the light, and there was a guy who saw my work on social media. I reached out to a few people doing something different. And this guy he's still a barista, and he's selling his own coffee.
Oh, okay.
And he bring his whole equipment, like coffee machine, to my place and everything. We captured a cool video, and that creative process doing this, I fall in love with. But there was some point when creative process, when you're doing business like this, creative process is not always enough. You need to focus as a creative person on doing a business as well. And honestly, after all these years, I think is about 70% or even 80% knowing how to do the business, and 20% of how to do being creative and actually doing the creative work and create the project.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think having systems in place is like understanding your business's systems, like, is just crucial. A professional is someone who doesn't waste any time when it comes to moving the client from where they are now to where they want to be. You don't waste any time. When someone comes to you and they're like, okay, this is what I want done, and you already have a step-by-step process, you've already got a system in place, because systems produce results. Lack of results is a symptom of lack of systems, right? So once you have systems in place and they're very efficient and you're constantly looking for ways to tweak them and to make them even more efficient, and a client goes through that funnel and receives the transformation they expected, it's the best thing. And that's one of the beautiful things about like capitalism in a sense, is that when you pay what you feel is a good amount for something and then you get exactly what you expected, it's a beautiful feeling. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling, and it all happens to us like every day. Maybe you just go to a coffee shop, you get a good coffee, and you're like, I'm so glad I spent that money.
Yeah.
Because this is good coffee.
That was a good copy. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm coming back for this. I'm paying for this. Yeah, I know what you mean. Exactly.
I feel like I came to the conclusion that like intentions are just the manifestations of what anyone's repeatedly put their attention to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to know what someone's intentions are. You just have to know what they've repeatedly given their attention to. And then you're going to know.
And all of this is your brain work. Why I'm saying this because my wife was listening to some of the podcasts when I was working, and I was like unintentionally was listening what she's listening to, and they've been talking about this visualization. When you visualize something, your brain try to find a pattern how you get you there. For example, they've been talking about wealth, and you saying to yourself, "I want to be wealthy," or you're just kind of adjusting yourself in some kind of direction. You're saying yourself a goal, you want to buy a house, for example. And your brain, once when you start talking about and start visualizing that what you want to achieve, your brain trying to find the patterns through this what you already know. So basically everything you learn in life to this point, your brain unconsciously trying to find a pattern through your knowledge. You already know how to get there, and trying to get the understanding what is your understanding of wealth, because wealth is not for everyone. Not for everyone, wealth meaning the same thing. For some people, meaning like I'm gonna be like super rich. I'm gonna have 10 houses. But for some people, wealth is just having a family. You know, saying like having like warm house and having a lot of kids, and just this is kind of the richness they're looking for.
Absolutely.
So once when you are start asking yourself what do you want to achieve, and what you're saying, you're just saying just one thing, and one thing lead to another. And you just start making like backwards map mind to that, how you're going to get there. Because, for example, I have my goals. For sure, you have your own goals as well. Everyone when you want to achieve something, you have your goals. And yeah, I want to be wealthy. This is my main goal.
That's it.
And I visualize, I'm talking to myself, and sometimes I visualize it as often as possible, me standing in this point like I'm already wealthy. Because your mind apparently unconsciously lead you to that point, so you're gonna get there. Of course, it's not gonna happen by just sitting just on the car, in your chair at home and just thinking I'm gonna be wealthy. You just need to act on this in the same way. So as more you're putting yourself out there, you're getting more exposure to situations that could put you in these directions. So at the moment, I always visualize it. I explain that to my wife. I seeing this as like I'm standing at the front of the big gap in some desert, and I need to jump. I see the edge, other side of the edge, and I just don't know how to make a jump yet. But it's just that gap is just getting smaller and smaller, and I just feel that it's just this gap is kind of blind spot, and I don't know how to. It's not that I'm not confident enough to make a jump, because I make a jump every day. I'm just push myself and making like getting myself out of the comfort zones every day to make this jump. But it's just going towards that. It's just so important, like pushing towards your goal, even if you don't know exactly how you're gonna get there. Because I believe it's most of us don't know how they're gonna get there. But you have your belief system that gonna get you there.
Absolutely, you have the belief systems and the values, and yeah, I mean it's I really like what you said, because firstly it reminds me of this concept of the fact that none of us actually work towards our goals, but rather we work from our goals, and it's really more of like a reverse engineering kind of practice that needs to be done. So mentally you're there, you just need to work from that mental state into a life where you can actually see what you want in the physical world. You know what I mean? And I think that all stems from beliefs. I think when it comes down to analyzing people mentally or like on a spiritual level, I think programming is like the start, because programming is like biology, things that we all have to do. And then afterwards you have beliefs, right? Beliefs inform attitudes. Attitudes inform habits. Habits inform actions, and actions inform results. I'm always astounded by the amount of people who don't like the results they're getting in life, but they don't necessarily want to go back up the ladder and see, okay, what actions am I taking? Okay, cool. These actions, what habits are they part of? What wider habits are they part of? Okay, cool. So I have these habits because I have certain attitudes, right? Okay, cool. What are those attitudes? Okay, these attitudes are based on what? A particular belief system. Okay, so now I need to reanalyze my belief system. What is my belief system about myself? What do I believe about myself and what I'm capable of, and my goals? And how capable do I think I actually am about accomplishing my goals? That is inevitable every once in a while, and it can be a sign that you're still on the right track, right? But it's about making sure you can uphold your belief system and making sure that over a consistent period of time, it trickles down into your attitudes and then your habits and then your actions. And eventually, inevitably, you will see the results.
Gold.
There we go.
This is true, yeah. this is all, everything you're just saying is true. Yeah, you exactly described that, what I want to say, because I was just saying my thought process. But I think everyone who is lost, or maybe they don't know how to get there yet, because everything is just kind of discovery process of yourself, because you need to discover yourself to be able to be on this track or this path. Like, I don't know where you've been. You seem to like you always been kind of the smart guy. I think, like, I see you. Yeah. Like, well, you remember you mentioned that you've been 16 and you've been coaching, you've been teaching people math and English and everything.
Yeah, other 16-year-olds. I mean, even from I was born in Nigeria, even from back in Nigeria, I was like top of my class, like 5, 6 years old. I remember being, came here to UK, London, nothing changed, like the school was easy, maths, like everything was like, do this simple question, 50 marks. So, okay, cool.
But yeah, there's like, what I want to say is like, not everyone is like kind of fortunate or smart enough right from the beginning. Like I told you before, I wasn't the guy who was smart from the beginning, or maybe I wouldn't say I'm not like from disadvantaged backgrounds, but I just wasn't smart, I guess.
The different forms of intelligence.
Oh, yes.
So, like I said, there are some shepherds in far-flung areas of the world who can look at, I don't know, somewhere between 50 to 100 sheep and know exactly how many sheep they got, because it's important to the way they live life. But one thing I always remember being taught when I was learning how to learn is the concept that memory is not something you have, it's something you do. And when you're learning, it's more important to be reminded than it is to be taught. It's more important to be reminded than it is to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
A question I like asking people is, what's the difference between someone who learned something and forgot about it and someone who never learned about it in the first place?
So repeat the question.
What's the difference between someone who learned something and forgot about it and someone who never learned about it in the first place? Don't worry if you can't think of it.
No, I remember my first idea coming to my head is you already have this thought in your head. If you learn it, and even if you forget it, I think could come back to you in some point. It's just the simplest answer.
Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. If it can come back to you in some point, then by, I guess, the parameters of this question, then you haven't forgotten it. But I think you basically, that's like the in-between stepping stone to the final conclusion, which is nothing. Because if you learn something and you forget it and you're not able to apply it in a situation where it's relevant, then your actions will be the same as someone who never learned it in the first place.
I see.
Knowing is remembering. If you cannot remember, you do not know. Then, so it stands to reason that it's more about being reminded than it is about being taught. So, for example, whenever I was studying, when I was being taught how to study, my parents would always tell me, it's about reminding yourself, not about just learning it once and saying, okay, I've learned it once. I think that's the difference. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
People who think they're not intelligent, it's just their method of learning. They'll consume a piece of information once. They won't use any spaced repetition techniques. And they're like, oh, I'm not smart. It's just, no, you don't understand how your brain works. You need to construct narratives and imaginative scenarios around what you're learning that are kind of strange and unique, but very imaginative and almost childlike, because children learn the best because they create these strange, weird, imaginative narratives around the things that they learn. And it's just kind of like so unique and personal to them, but that's precisely what allows them to remember it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It's like, but now we're gonna be saying that what you just said is like, for us, people who's doing something, or like creatives in creating industry, like myself, I think it's about like creating with your inner child. Did you hear that about this? And I think we often forget, and I believe I'm on that path as well. I need to remind myself quite a lot. Like first time when I grabbed camera, I was that little kid playing with the creative idea, and now I just move kind of towards different direction, being more focused on doing business. And is that what I have to do now? And I understand, like, and I love it, what I'm doing, but it's not necessarily my inner child. I would say my inner child is being creative.
Oh, right, okay.
But, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Go on.
Yeah, I just want to say is that you just need to reconnect with your inner child from once in a while. Just not forget about why you actually start doing this. I think it's like most important, and that's why I'm saying this, because you actually mention about kids, and kids, they are like you just said, they just having the.
They learn so much. Like, you know, I've got younger siblings, and they're just amazing. They're both like extremely smart, top of their class, of course, you know, family members, and it's just the way they learn things is amazing, and the way they understand things. And the kind of faces they pull these kind of facial expressions every once in a while that gives you a slight glimpse into the fact that they understand a lot more than what they're letting on. Like I remember like one of them pulling this face, and I was like, that's a very sophisticated facial expression to pull. You're saying a lot in that facial expression, but you know, you're not even 10 years old. Like you know what I mean?
Mate, I experienced that with my 9 months old. She's like getting to that point where I believe she's like fucking cheeky, like, I'm gonna get you. Like, you know.
They're so much more spiritually developed than like we even understand, I think.
I believe so. Humans are very interesting, especially little humans.
Yeah, they tell us a lot about
I think we need to wrap it up. Any final words?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the main thing is just being focused on personal development and growth. I think the most valuable thing in life is the person you become and the skills you acquire. And yeah, if anyone wants to, I guess, learn more about AI, imagine, firstly, it's 1985 and someone's asking you to learn about the internet. How much value would you place on that? If that would be valuable to you, then yeah, feel free to head over to my YouTube channel called Everyday AI with JI, where I teach people how they can use AI in their daily lives. And also, if you want to DM me on Instagram, it's JJohnsonOfficial. I've combined ChatGPT with my way of thinking, speaking, seeing the world, and put it in a chatbot. So yeah, you can constantly talk to, I guess, my mind 24/7.
If you want to know more about our services, Onemarsmedia Limited, reach out through our website or go to our Instagram, or you can reach out through our email, hello@marekmars.com.
Sweet.